Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio, your station for empowerment, music, and talk radio. EB Radio presents Empower Hour with Jarisha. A show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The Empower Hour with Jarisha begins now.
Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, and when I say overwhelmed, I'm talking about you're overwhelmed by the never-ending list of tasks and goals for this year. Okay, maybe you have been wanting to be more productive, but you just don't know where or how or where to start. Now, last year I talked about the 12-week year, and I really gave a high overview of it. And it's so good. It's so good. It is a book. If you're not familiar with the 12-week year, it is definitely a book that everyone should have in their library. But it's so good that I really wanted to do a part two. A part two where we can talk about some of the actions and all of that. And I mentioned that on that podcast episode. So if you have not listened to part one, you can definitely go back and listen to it, and where I dive into, some of the really basic concepts in the 12-week year. But the 12-week year, it's a framework that is designed to help you stay on track and really achieve the maximum results in a minimal time. Now, let me tell you, when I say we all want to be able to stay focused, stay on track, and achieve the maximum results by really diving into the 12-week year. And so it's about breaking down your yearly goals into weekly action plans, and then making sure you're going to keep your motivation up and looking at strategies to hold yourself accountable. Because ultimately, we want to be utilizing the power of planning to unlock your potential and turn your dreams into reality. Welcome, amazing people, to another episode of Empower Hour with Jarisha. It is another amazing day, and I'm just super excited that you're tuning in to the show. I believe you have the power to be great, do great, and have great. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. Now, the 12-week year, it is a book that is by the authors' names are Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. And when I tell you, I am one that when you find that book that you feel like it's just like, this is what I needed. Like, I needed that book for my life. Like, I absolutely needed that book. And I still do. But it was years ago. So I want to say when it first launched, or a little bit after, that I actually learned about it. And it's one of those books that is just, it's really one of those books, like I would probably say my top 5, absolutely hands down, my top 10, we'll say top 10 books. And it has truly, it's been a game changer for me. It's absolutely changed my life, the way I look at planning and being productive. And so again, the 12-week year It's a productivity tool. Now, let me just stop right there because I don't know if you have figured out how to just be productive every single day. Like, if you have that system that you have in place that you're rocking and rolling with, and you just feel like, you know what, I don't need any other strategy, any other tool, I have this down pat. I feel like this is an area where we all are looking for tips. We're all looking for ways that can really help us be more more productive. I can't even say it. More productive in our everyday life, be it our personal life, be it our business, be it at work. We are looking for ways to stay focused, to work smarter, not harder, so we can achieve our goals. And let me tell you, the 12-week year does just that. So it's pretty amazing because if you have never tapped into it, so I would recommend either picking up the hard copy, listening to it on Audible, because now that's what I do. I've read it. I take my highlighter, any book that I have that I read often, and that's one of the books that I will pick up every single year. That is one that I'll mark up, highlight, make notes in it, but I also have it on Audible so that I can listen to it and, go to the chapter I want to listen to. And so it's truly one of those books. But it's all about really breaking down your objectives for the year into 12-week blocks. And when you begin to do that, you're looking at specific goals, objectives, and then tasks that you can break it down into 12-week blocks. And so, if you think about the 12 weeks, and how it truly falls, and so that's looking at it like a quarter. And I don't know that when it comes down to really being focused on our goals, if we are really breaking it down like that. When I tell you again, it makes looking at your goals a lot doable. It helps you to break things down. It helps you to break things down. And I say that because I think that's where we get caught up and really struggle. So we have these big goals and we don't actually take the time to, break them down, and really certainly not breaking down our yearly objectives into 12-week blocks. Like, have you done that before? For me, when I first did that, it was an absolute game changer for me because I was able to look at it, by, the weekly deadlines, and actually have those tangible steps that I could take so that I can make progress, and that happened faster, and I could establish those good habits and hold myself accountable. Now, for me, it's all about writing stuff down. Write it down, write it down. And so I have a planner that I utilize. And let me just tell you that the planner that I use, that is really, if you ask me, it goes right in line with the 12-week year, is the Focus Planner. I absolutely love this planner. Now, I'm a digital girl as well as hard copy. I have my hard copy planner too, but let me tell you, like, that is my planner of choice now. I love it. I've been utilizing it, and I'm absolutely loving it because it works in conjunction with the 12-week year. So, when we think about the 12-week year and how we get started, it's really all about setting and prioritizing your goals. And the question is, have you one written down your goals? Because if you haven't written your goals down, you need to start there. Start with writing down your goals and then begin to prioritize them, and how, that is a part of the setting your goals, writing them down, and then you're going to begin to prioritize them. And think about what you want to accomplish within that 12-week period. So that's what I did. I said, okay, these are my objectives for the year. These are the things that I definitely want to get done. And I'm always talking about the areas of our life. And so that's looking at a personal, professional development. And often in the professional, I will include like business in that. For me, that's where I include business. And then you have your finances, you have your relationships, your health and wellness, and you know, faith and all of that, so on and so forth. And those are just some categories that you can start with if are trying to really come up with goals and really find yourself just trying to figure out how to break those down. But that's what you do. You have to be able to break it down into those tasks, those tangible tasks, so that you can work on them each week. That is so very important, and looking at it in the 12-week period. So that's where I started, and I said, okay, these are my objectives for the year. How can I break these down into tangible tasks within, tasks that I can accomplish, or, goals that I have set that I can accomplish within a 12-week period. And then you break those down into the tangible tasks that you can work on each week. Because having those objectives that you can measure and track is going to help you identify those areas of focus. It's going to help you set your priorities and keep yourself motivated. And then from that point, you're going to develop a plan. Yay. Yes. Don't we just love planning? It's probably just me, but love, love, love planning. You're going to develop a plan for how you're going to achieve your weekly goals. Now, this may be where many of us get stuck. We get stuck like, okay, how's my plan of how am I going to, what am I going to do? How am I going to achieve these weekly goals? And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you find that as you sit down to really set and prioritize your goals, so you've written your goals down, you're trying to set them, prioritize them, when it comes down to developing a plan on how you're going to achieve your weekly goals, if you find yourself stuck and you're like, oh my gosh, how can I? Then you need to break your goal down even more. Sometimes we have this goal that is, it's not really realistic, and we haven't really broken it down enough. So, and then from that point, then you're going to work backwards from the end goal. And you're going to break it down into small achievable tasks and build in time. So you're going to build in time for like buffers and breaks. And that's going to allow you to move closer to your ultimate goal because you're doing it one step at a time. Work backwards from your end goal. Break it down into achievable tasks. And that's pretty much what I mean when I say, if you get stuck, you need to break it down even more. Can you break your goal down even more into smaller achievable tasks? Because it's not enough for us just to say, this is my goal. This is my goal for the year. No, you have to know how you're going to achieve it. You have to know and really, set and prioritize your goals, your objectives, so you know how you're going to achieve it. From there, that's when you develop a system so that you can keep yourself accountable and keep yourself on track. So for me, this includes establishing like regular check-ins and reviews with myself, with my goals, and not just like at the end of the month. It's every single week. Are you checking in with yourself to say, okay, this was my objectives. This is what my tasks look like for the goal that I'm trying to reach for this 12-week, the 12-week period. Have I accomplished the tasks that I had set? Have I, how did everything go? Did I get, what percentage of your goal did you accomplish, and what worked and what didn't work? So those are, some of the questions that I ask myself in that review. That's what you want to do when you establish those regular check-ins and reviews. You want to be able to not just have that process set up or that system, but you want to actually have some kind of system in place. So, a reward system that's going to encourage you to stay on track. And don't forget about having an accountability partner who understands your goals and provides an additional layer of encouragement and accountability that can help you succeed. The 12-week year is an absolute amazing tool that is designed to help you stay focused and achieve maximum. When I say maximum results, but you have to do the work. So you have to be willing to break down your goals into weekly action plans. To me, there is no excuse. It sounds like a lot of work because I've heard people say before, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. But guess what? When you're trying to accomplish something, when you want success, you have to be willing to do the work. So break down those goals into weekly action plans. Stay motivated. Hold yourself accountable. You can strive towards bigger, and bigger objectives without feeling overwhelmed. That is the whole point. I started off by saying we all want to be productive. You want to be more productive. I want to be more productive. And why is that? So that we can get the things done, so we have time to work on other things. So we have time for our families and our children. So we have time to spend on that hobby and the things that we're super passionate about. We want to be able to be more productive, to feel like we have accomplished things, to feel like we are getting results. We have reached a level of success that we want. And this is a sure way, and a sure tool that can help you do that. The 12-week year. Now, I mentioned on part one that I really wanted to dive into, not just what is the 12-week year, because we've already established that it's a great system, right? It's a really great system that requires you to be self-disciplined and dedicated, right? You have to be, you have to be self-disciplined, and you have to be dedicated, because without it, you're not gonna be able to really have that extraordinary success that you deserve and you desire. And so I talked about also what it is. What is the 12-week year? How it works. What is the whole system like? What it's designed to do and how it's worked for so many. You can pull up YouTube videos and videos on other social media platforms, and you can find so much information on the 12-week year, because truly it works. It's worked for so many people. It's just a matter of how you're going to be able to make it work for you. So, how do you make it work for you? Now, making the 12-week year work for you, it requires planning. Yes, it requires planning. That is exactly why when I said the planning piece, I got super excited, because for me, I love to plan. But not everyone does. But it does require planning on your part. It requires a clear understanding of your own goals and your motivations. And so if you don't have that clear understanding, don't dive into the 12-week year. Don't start trying to make this tool work for you if you don't have a clear understanding. That is first and foremost. You need to identify your desired outcome. What will success look like for you at the end of the 12 weeks? And then once you know what you want to achieve, you can start breaking it down into the smaller goals that I mentioned. Those goals should always be achievable and measurable so you can track your progress. Now, I like to track my progress in my planner or on electronically. There's tons of things. You can use habit trackers. There's all kinds of tools that you can be using to keep track of your progress. You should also you should also set a timeline for each goal. And, I already said that it's important for us to create a plan of action so that we can accomplish them. Now, one of the other pieces that I'm going to mention on how you can make the 12-week year work for you is you really need to commit. So it's a huge commitment because you're committing to taking consistent and deliberate action every single day. Are you ready to take that commitment? Are you ready to make that commitment and take deliberate action? Because it's all about setting those realistic expectations for yourself and taking the daily steps towards reaching your goals. It is so important to stay focused. When I tell you that one of the other tools that I utilize to help me stay focused is time blocking, I think I may have talked about it on this show or the Morning with Jerisha show, but time blocking, I utilize a timer. It helps me. I utilize do not disturb on my phone. When I tell you any and everything that I can do to make sure I am staying focused and staying motivated during this process. And so that requires us to, really do whatever we need to do in order to make sure we're going to have success, right? We have to do whatever we need to do in order so that we can have the success that we want. And that is one of the things that I said I am going to be intentional about this year. I want to be intentional about staying focused and being productive and making sure I am checking things off my list, getting my stuff done, and utilizing my 12-week year and my focus planner. So that goes hand in hand with the planning and everything else. And let me just put this out there. Don't think because the fact that we're in February now that you can't start the 12-week year, because you can. I feel like we have developed this whole mindset that, if it doesn't happen at the beginning of the quarter, or I'll just wait to, the second quarter, the beginning of second quarter, or it's halfway in the month, I'll wait to the beginning of the month. No, stop thinking that you have to wait. That is an excuse. That is what we tell ourselves. That's the narrative that we tell ourselves because we don't want to do it right now. What is stopping you from doing it today? What's stopping you from learning more so that you can start taking action today? My goodness gracious, when I tell you, I'm going to answer that for you and say nothing is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you from starting this. Nothing is stopping you from starting or accomplishing anything else that you want to. All you have to do is make the choice to do it. So it's your decision to make. We just have to be willing to make the decision. So what is stopping you? Make sure you really get clear on your understanding of your goals, your objectives, and all of that good stuff before you just jump into the process. And know that there are tons of resources. There's so many resources that's available to you. And we just have to be willing to utilize our resources. So I mentioned YouTube. I mentioned you just go to Google and type in the 12-week year and you can pull up all kinds of things that'll help you really understanding. But the book is your best resource to have for really getting started with this. And then don't do it by yourself. Now, I mentioned about holding yourself accountable, getting someone else to, hold you accountable, but don't do it by yourself. So why not invite somebody else to do this with you, so that they can hold you accountable and you can hold them accountable? Because ultimately, this is a truly powerful system the 12-week year is a powerful system. I know this because I've utilized it myself, and I use it today. It is an absolute amazing system that you can start using in your own life so that you can break down your goals into weekly action plans to help you stay motivated. You know, um, that right there, just that part right there is really, really, really big. It's a big part of accomplishing what you want to get done this year. So if you have not, done your research on the 12-week year, if you think that it won't work for you, I'm telling you it will. It definitely will. You just have to be willing to learn more about it. I hope that what I've shared with you today is helpful. I really like to be able to, dive into some of the action, and that's what I really wanted to talk about today. Is some of the action that you need to, that you need to take in order for you to have your own 12-week year. And it's not too late. It's not too late. It's a powerful system for taking action and achieving measurable results. Don't you want to make sure you, you accomplish your goals? Don't you want to take action today and really achieve the results that that you want, you deserve, you desire? So, if you want to make this really work for you, it's all about the planning piece, planning ahead. And I think that we have to get ourselves into in the position where we can plan ahead, where we're not like last minute planning. And I say last minute because even if you're not, say for instance, if we're looking at this year, I actually started planning for this first quarter last year. And so we have to really look at things in advance, and not just from a business side of things, but why are you not looking at other areas of your life? So those that have businesses, of course, we look ahead, and the planning, we have strategic plans and all that that we're working on well in advance. But why not have a strategic plan for yourself? Why not have a strategic plan for your health and wellness, for your relationship, your relationships and connecting? What about for your personal development? Why not have a plan in place and knowing, the things that you're going to be doing and the objectives, the goals and everything that you want to be setting, and so that you make it easier. If you do have a plan in place, it definitely makes it easier for you to stay focused, remain focused on your goals. So also give yourself realistic expectations and take those small, consistent steps every single day. And please rely on people and resources around you to keep you motivated and on track. And I believe with the right mindset and commitment, you can make the 12-week year an invaluable tool for success. I know this because I've done it for myself. And so that's why I am on here today to really empower you to take that step, to do your research, to begin to look at how you can start planning and looking at things in 12-week period. It will absolutely be a game changer for you. So I truly hope that you were able to, get some nuggets, some insights from today's conversation on the 12-week year. I thank you all for your support, for your continued support with the show and the podcast. If you've missed any episodes in the past, we are available on all of the podcast platforms. Go back and listen to the 12-week year part 1 that I did at the end of last year. And y'all just keep moving, keep looking at your goals, keep working on your goals, keep focusing on your goals, and never stop. Never let anything stop you from achieving your goals. Because ultimately, I believe you are created for greatness. And like I said in the beginning, you just have to be willing to unleash your greatness. Unleash your greatness because you have the power within you. You have the power within you. We just have to stop making excuses for ourselves. We can be productive. We can, launch the business. We can write the book. We can, go back to school, finish our schooling. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. You can have whatever you want to have. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. Until next time, I am your host, Jerisha Moore Smith, and I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Hour with Jerisha, where Jerisha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journey in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to your best self. Follow Jerisha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jerisha Moore, and visit www.empoweronpurpose.com. Remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.